Why the name Vishwa?
So it's actually an acronym, Versatile Intelligence System for Holistic Workflow Automation.
Oh my God. Okay, very good, very good, very interesting, very interesting. Suppose I'm using your system and we have done, say, 5,000 cases. Is your system going to learn from those 5,000 cases?
Correct. Yes. It even learns within the company, as in.
AI is going to come. How is their job going to get impacted? Will they lose their jobs?
Perfect. So I think I'll just give around 50 people who are needed to do a certain task. That can be done with 3 or 4 people right now.
Out of that 50, one of the employees is, I am one of the employee, and I might not be needed in the core underwriting role, but I might learn tech, what he should learn to make himself more adaptive to the change in the market.
The answer that I'll give based on the present data might not hold completely true 6 months down the line if you ask the question to me again. These models are becoming intelligent, but also scary intelligent in a way that they give very clever answer which a human also might not be able to identify is right or wrong.
Or where the job opportunities related to AI will open up.
Got it. So in banking, I think, looking at our personal banking, which most of us would relate to. So I think customer support chatbots.
Hello guys, I hope everybody is doing good. Hi, this is Ganesh Nayak. I help finance professionals and students to excel in their career and become a better version of themselves. And with throughout that journey, we also do a lot of podcasts so that we can bring enriching content for the audience to make a very good career in finance, because a lot of people right now are not aware that what opportunities are there in finance, what different roles are there, and what skill set they need. So as a part of that, I'm today having a discussion with Sai Sharan, and he is already been into the tech side, okay, of the banking tech side. He's already worked for Jupiter, Udan, and he also has his own consulting firm. And lately, he has also started out with his new venture, which is Vishwa.ai. And this firm primarily focuses on credit underwriting. Okay. And we're going to be learning a lot about what is this company doing. Okay. What are the major shifts that are happening in the space of credit underwriting? And also, we'll talk about how technology is combined with functional part in terms of the career aspect. So, first of all, Sai, thank you very much for taking out time and talking to us. And for the audience, I mean, if you can run through brief introduction about yourself, that would be really helpful.
Right. Thanks for having me here. I think this is a great opportunity. So I'm a BITS Pilani computer science graduate, 2021. So I started working as an engineer at Udan in the ML space. So this was again before the chat GPT and all this era. So I was first hired in the ML ops space in Udan. So we built that into a team, and then I went on to do a bunch of other things at Udan around infrastructure, different aspects in the tech itself, apart from the machine learning part, right? And 2023, I moved out of Udan to start my own consulting firm, through which we were helping out fintech firms like Jupiter, as you mentioned, and a couple of other startups in San Francisco. That I did about for a year, and then started Vishwa.ai, which is that's something that we are growing for the past 1.5 years.
Perfect. Before we go into what exactly the company does, why the name Vishwa?
So it's actually an acronym, Versatile Intelligence System for Holistic Workflow Automation.
Oh my God. Okay, very good, very good, very interesting, very interesting. So, I mean, there is a thought process. So that's very, very interesting to understand. And what does your company do?
We started out as a automation system, as the name suggests, right? But in the past 8 months, we have focused more into the finance, in that again in the underwriting space, right? We specialize in corporate loans about 2 crore or 500k USD range, right? So this is where a lot of documents and unstandardized data is put together to make a decision from a risk as well as credit standpoint, right? So the covenants change, and basic dimensions of how much do you want to lend or not change based on the company to company, industry to industry. So we operate and make the process easy, starting from the document collection, as in how the company shares the documents with the lender, all the way to how the underwriting happens and the credit reports, risk memos are generated. So basically, we help in automating all of this.
Is it something like, say, ChatGPT, which is already an LLM has been created? You can integrate it into your working, or you're basically going to customize it for all the banks or NBFCs individually?
So we customize it. So as in we have a standard product, but we customize it to specific format that each of the lending institutions follow. Like investment thesis changes from lender to lender, geography to geography, right? So
Right.
as per their thesis, we reconstitute financials. We ensure that everything is as per their threshold, so that when they are doing it, it's already fitting into their internal structure.
So how your company is different than a normal tech company? That means how AI comes into this place.
Right. So AI comes into this place at multiple points. I mean, the simplest starting point would be
Okay.
as soon as, let's say, company drops in the documents, there is financial statements, shareholding, stock reports, a bunch of other documents,
Correct.
and they are just dumped for the past 3 to 5 years. So first thing we do is we auto categorize them. We put them in a clean, neat structure, and then we automatically do the financial spreading, which is we analyze the past financial year's data
Okay.
into a structured format, and then creating ratios such as DSCR, debt to liquidity, all this important stuff, along with the custom ratios that the lender would want. So this process involves automatic categorization, which uses AI, extraction of data into standard format, which is again AI, right? India, the MCA filings, if you look at them, they are all scanned documents, which are not at all clear, right?
Correct.
Uh, some of them they stamp over the number, so even the number is not very clear. So we ensure that despite of all of these nuances, the data is 100% accurate. On paper we guarantee 99.6, which is humanly possible. So and then
Interesting. So one additional point. So what I understood, say for example, a corporate goes to a bank and that company is looking out for a 100 crore loan. They will give all the documents while filing the proposal. So the bank's responsibility is to scan them. Correct. If it's a physical doc, scan them and
so
upload it on your platform.
physical documents are rare. The company itself usually shares PDFs,
Okay.
which are scanned by the company and then uploaded, shared with bank as a PDF file.
And that information goes to your platform.
Correct. Yes.
And the cleaning part, first of all, the cleaning, like you said, the segregation, everything now AI is doing. Basically, AI is supporting you to do that. Okay. And when you talked about the ratios and projection also, or only the ratios?
Even projections as well, based on the industry and the thesis of the lender, the projections change. So until the entire financial spreading aspect, the automation is done by AI. Further downstream, we also have a co-pilot which allows them to investigate and go into deep, because there are hundreds of pages across documents, right? So analysts would face a lot of difficulty to scroll and read through everything. So we
Correct.
consolidate some insights for them already, but also gave them a tool, a co-pilot, which allows them to deep dive and further investigate what is happening.
So Copilot is connected to your system.
Yes, so it's all integrated into one platform. It's a
Perfect.
single unified interface, a single flow.
For example, there are 10 documents which is related to their suppose NCA filing, and I have some query. I can basically chat also.
Correct. So anything with respect to that company, all the documents that you uploaded, you can chat on it. It collects the data from all the documents. It points exactly to the source. Like, let's say it made a call that, okay, this was the risky point. It shows
Correct.
you exactly why did it determine this point as a risk, tracing it back to the original document.
So you're also trying to capture, because one of the things which a lot of people are right now hearing when they're using AI, that there could be a lot of, first problem could be hallucination.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
Second could be the biasness. So
Correct.
how you guys are taking care of it?
Yeah, so I think a very good question. So financial industry and all of our customers, their main concern is that they cannot deal with a wrong input or a wrong output that is going to them, so that the decision or anything that is dependent on it would be risky. So then they could not actually use the system. So we have human in the loop, which is ensuring that every output until the financial spreading is perfectly audited. So if there are any edge cases, any document discrepancies which are highlighted, so those are all caught in that review. By the time the customer is using the Copilot, all the data is clean and it is available for real-time deep analytics. At this point, what we do is the Copilot itself is reading the human audited data, which is already correct, right? So then the chance of error goes down significantly.
But so basically, inbuilt in your system itself, there is a review mechanism.
Correct. Yes.
And the system provides the report also of that review, that what
Yes.
they have checked.
So the platform is completely automated for the customer, as in they just drop the document. AI extracts it. Then if there are any issues, our team jumps in. So there's a data team that we have, which sit in a clean room, and then they are checking if there is any issue in the data. And then if there is nothing, they just mark it as ready. If there is any issue, they look at it. Some documents are not even humanly readable. They mark it as poor quality after manual reviews, so just to ensure that the customer is not impacted by it. For the customer, there is no virtual delay at all. There is no dependency on a human as he sees it, but the data is validated and augmented by the human.
But when you talk about hallucination, because you're also connected to Copilot, and if I'm looking out for specific information from the document,
Right.
okay, so what I'm assuming basically is that the Copilot will be working only on the documents that you guys are providing. It is not connected to internet.
No, it's also on the documents that were uploaded by the company, because most of these private loans, the documents and the data is not available publicly, right? So the value is if you can provide analytics and insights on the data provided by the company.
Correct. So, but the Copilot that you're giving is not connected to the internet. It's primarily fetching the data from those PDFs that has been uploaded. Am I correct?
No, it's actually both, because we also do sectoral and competitive research, peer analysis, right? So,
Okay.
which requires you to compare the company's data with the similar sector data, industry cyclicity, how is the industry going, all of these parameters. So, it's a bunch of different things, a bunch of different models that are working together to make this decision. Coming to, I think, the hallucination part on the Copilot, we address it with a technology called as grounding. So, any fact or any answer that goes out, there is a trace back to the original document and source. If there is no trace back, then we don't give that as a response.
Okay, perfect. And when we talk about biasness, because we might give loan to only certain sectors of companies. So how much the decision making, the final decision making? Because what I understood is that the quantitative part you guys will take care, but the qualitative assessment has to be taken care by the person who is going to be using that system. Am I correct on that?
So qualitative assessment, we give an AI-generated report, which is called as a comprehensive health report or CHR. That is customizable to individual lenders' format in which they produce a credit assessment report, CAM, or some people call it a credit risk report, right? The final report, which is containing everything about the company. So they configure the format while they are onboarding with us, and then that is generated. An AI-generated version is generated of it automatically. What analysts do is they go through it, they try to understand it, and then they add points or remove points that are needed or not. Instead of starting from a ground zero, we are giving them a 85%, 90% ready data, ready analytics, ready report on which they can build upon.
So the next question that comes to my mind is that suppose I'm using your system and we have done say 5,000 cases. Is your system going to learn from those 5,000 cases?
Correct. Yes. It even learns within the company, as in first you're uploading a particular company's documents, it has learned it, and then again you're going to monitor it next quarter. So it already knows the data that is there and the kind of formatting, the technology that the accounting standard that the company is using, right? So it benches on that, uses that learning to enhance the speed of analytics and the accuracy of analytics.
Okay. Interesting. So basically, if there was a previous similar case, or suppose the company from the same sector, almost similar thing, you can basically the system can refer to that also while giving you the insights.
Correct. It does refer.
And one very big question that could be coming to the people's mind when they think about credit underwriting. There's a lot of banks right now, and even NBFCs and any financial institution, they have a good young team, chartered accountants and all. They do credit underwriting right now. So if suppose AI is going to come, how is their job going to get impacted? Will they lose their jobs?
Perfect. So I think I'll just give, as I was saying, right, we have an internal data team who's doing the auditing. So we hire CAs and CFAs for that task. So, but how this is changing more so is like basically, let's say before Vishwa or similar tools in the market, everything used to happen via Excel, right? You have the financial statement. You go through that entire financial statement, you extract it into Excel in your own firm's standard, and then you write your Excel formulas to get the ratios. So this was the process before. Around 50 people were needed to do a certain task. Now, as per our research and our experience of what we are seeing with our customers, that can be done with 3 or 4 people right now. But the 3 or 4 people are still needed. So now from this, what we are realizing is that the 3 or 4 people, their task and the way they are working, how it is changing is Previously, it was 90% of repeated work, right? Like you just need to see the P&Ls, balance sheets, copy the data from here to there.
Correct.
Now they are actually doing the thinking, because these 5 to 6% of cases are the cases where the company's accounting standard has some edge case, the way of reporting is slightly different. So now these 3 or 4 people, they are having to understand those micro nuances and put 90% of their time in solving those 5 to 6% of the gap. So the what we have seen is, and even in our hiring, this is what we are checking, the basic concepts. Like there is no requirement for people to learn AI tools before, right? That is easy to do. Because now everything is like, everybody is using ChatGPT. Everybody is using
Correct.
Chat. So now it's not new for them to understand and use a new AI platform. But still, the foundations and the concepts that are required to answer the questions, solve the complexities, get into the nuances, the
Correct.
bar for that has increased, or is increasing, is what I feel.
So primarily the three to out of 50, now 3 to 4 people who will be sitting there, they'll be able to ask more relevant question.
Yes,
Correct.
and they need to sort of ponder over that specific edge cases. They need to spend their time trying to understand why this is this way. So the analytical part of their work has increased, or that is the only part of work that they do compared to data operating and copy pasting, manual keying.
One of the point that you mentioned, that you guys also hire a lot of CAs and CFAs. So what I understood is that if suppose I am out of that 50, one of the employees is I am one of the employee, and I might not be needed in the core underwriting role, but I might learn tech slightly.
Hmm.
Okay, and I might, so there are other opportunities that are opening up in fintechs
Correct.
or similar roles.
Yes.
So now I'm entering towards the career aspect of
Right.
this
Right.
entire discussion,
Hmm.
because AI in the risk space, okay,
Hmm.
we all know it is going to come, okay, but
Hmm.
obviously the banks or these institutions are being reluctant. Now over here, if suppose you realize that there is somebody who is sitting in risk side, what he should learn to make himself more adaptive to the change in the market.
The role changes are in flux. Like the answer that I'll give based on the present data might not hold completely true 6 months down the line if you ask the question to me again. But the way it stands today, I think, like, to get into any of the fintech space, again, there are wide ranging roles, right? Like if you get into companies like Jupiter, then it's a whole together different market. And the way they approach is more centered around cards, banking, etc. And
Correct.
then there is this corporate lending itself, which is again a very different domain. Then in
Correct.
finance itself, there is audit, accounting, and audit space, basically the financial controller domain. So all of these spaces are evolving in a very very different style. Taking the financial controller or internal audit or external audit domain, basically previously what did we have? 90% of the CA firms are still today using Tally, right? But now most of them till date, they don't know that there is a tool which allows them to take these invoices in a bunch of folder that they get from the company, bank statements in a folder, purchase orders in a folder, and then automatically pump all the data into Tally. Of resources that they are putting in into collecting all of this data that even today is happening in all of the CA firms is actually not needed. But I think those roles are still relevant, right? So 6 months later, if you look at them, maybe people will start adopting these tools more, and those roles might also start becoming less and less relevant. But
Yeah.
what might be more needed is if you are customer facing, as in you are selling a particular loan, you are selling credit card, then those type of roles will still be relevant, because especially if you go to higher value customer, the AI, even though AI as a technology is there,
Hmm.
customer still requires the personal touch. It's a human tendency.
Correct. Correct.
So those roles, especially from my point of view, I see them still being relevant. And then on the top of the chain, if you look at the decision making roles, where AI is already giving you an output, but you are in a position where you are challenging or you are analyzing that output, then those roles, their value will keep increasing over time. These models are becoming intelligent, but also scary intelligent in a way that they give very clever answer which a human also might not be able to identify is right or wrong. So the quality of the human reading these outputs, and the expertise of such humans who are reading this output and able to call out these errors, their value will definitely increase.
So somebody who understands the work, the
Correct.
functional, plus what AI is, how AI is basically giving the answer, or how to
Correct.
find problems in AI, basically the act, whatever output they're giving, that those roles will actually pick up in the market.
Yes. I think everything falls down still to the basics, right? Like if the particular person is very strong in their fundamentals and he's
Correct.
completely thorough with the nuances involved in each of the concepts, I think they will still stand out compared to the crowd when they are looking for these sort of roles.
Correct. Correct. So in simple terms, suppose there was a credit underwriting team and there was few people,
Hmm.
for example, they were graduates, okay, and they were doing some basic activity right now, okay.
Correct.
They would also be needed to upskill themselves in either a CA, CFA to make them more knowledgeable so that they can survive in these roles. Because
Exactly.
when you want to ask good questions, if you do not understand the fundamental that what this ratio is telling you, you will never be able to ask those questions. Correct.
Correct. Yes.
Now, apart from credit underwriting,
Hmm.
okay, when we talk about fintech hitting banks,
Hmm.
if you can enlighten us which other areas where the AI is being used more or where the job opportunities related to AI will open up.
Got it. So in banking, I think, I mean, looking at our personal banking, which most of us would relate to. So I think customer support chatbots, the mode of interaction is changing, right? HDFC, all the major banks have already adopted and well within integrated into their flow. The nature of engagement is now the human support is at a second, third level of escalation. Most of the issues are being solved by these bots. So I think if you're looking at this particular space, then maybe people need to be in that level 2 level 3 where they are able to get to the customer and understand the customer's issues when they have crossed certain level of nuance, rather than the simple know-how queries, which right now people, there are BPOs and such systems set up which are solving them. Maybe those will change. So, as in, let me just re-ask the question so that I understand how to answer it better. Like in banking, you are asking how will the roles change with the AI coming, or
Correct.
how will the roles evolve and how will the jobs change?
So it basically I'm trying to understand. See, like you are targeting credit underwriting, so AI is entering into that space. Which
Uh,
other major areas AI is basically becoming more important, or
got it.
industries seeing more AI being used?
Got it. So I think, yeah, the customer support would be a primarily very good example. Then people are using in recollections. So previously, if you remember, people used to call us if we didn't pay the credit card bill, or
Correct.
we took a loan, EMI didn't repay. So now those are all automated. NBFCs and banks, they are increasingly focusing on how they can reduce the human input or human
Okay.
dependency in doing these calls. So levels of escalations, all these things are set up in such a way.
Okay.
B2C credit scores and credit card approvals, if you have observed, they are already automated across, right? So based on your CIBIL and certain metrics. So
Okay.
if you look at the B2C domain, it is much more mature compared to the B2B. If most of it is set up in a streamlined way so that the top line to bottom line everything is optimized and automated. B2B is now where AI is entering recently, if you can sort of put a timeline to it, because these are the scenarios where the challenges were there previously. So GST and bank statement account aggregator, which has come in recently, both of them have made it significantly easier for India, especially if you are looking at MSME segment in B2B, I'm saying. But
Correct.
if you go to US, then there is no equivalent of it, right? So India, in that sense, is far ahead compared to the global markets,
Yeah.
because it is easy for us to extract the data of all these MSMEs and make a decision rather than doing the same in the US. Then, if you go to higher tier loans, that is where the nuance further increases. So, these advanced AI systems are more and more important and need to be deployed there. So, increasingly, system is getting more and more automated and moving towards this higher value loans, the B2B segment,
Okay.
where the automation was previously very hard, but now with this advent of AI, things are becoming easier.
Perfect. Perfect. So I mean, in every part of the banking activity right now, slowly or gradually, the AI will come and they will do a lot of manual activities reduction. So
AI
people
is
will
a
have.
think of AI as a fundamental technology, right? Similar to how all of us are using browsers, all of us are using laptops, right? So AI is another lever of fundamental technology that is not restricted only to tech people or developers, but it
Hmm.
will be a major enabler actually for the business people. So this is what I have always been saying for years. More than tech people, for even though business folks are usually scared because of the AI systems trying to make jobs redundant, but it is actually them who will benefit rather than the engineers from the AI, because their systems are getting more and more cleaner. Their decision making power is gonna improve. They can make more consistent decisions across volume. So the
Okay.
scalability of the systems will increase.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. Okay. Wonderful. I mean, this conversation, Sai, was very, very interesting. I mean, we got to learn a lot of things that how the credit underwriting space, okay, because a lot of people are working into that area is going to
Right.
get impacted because of the AI. So how they will have to think now how I can upskill, how I can evolve with the market and how I can learn AI related stuff. So again, this conversation will really, really help a lot of audience on our platform. So again, Sai, thank you very much for taking out time and talking to us today and
Thank you.
giving the insights on your journey and Vishwa.
Thank you for having me again.